I don't know. I think sometimes people forget that you're a human. Like, some of the comments that I read, like, on the Shade Room and stuff, and I try my best to, like, stay away from stuff like that, but, I mean, it's tempting sometimes. When I just read comments, people just, like, she can't sing, or she's trash, or who styled her. It's like, god damn, like, you don't think these people are gonna read these comments? Like, I don't know, it's like people think celebrities, like, aren't humans, like, they don't have feelings. That's probably the biggest thing. I'm just talking on, okay? That's probably, like, one of my biggest, like, fears and anxieties, because I don't know, people, and, like, especially people will be like, well, this is what you signed up for. No, the fuck, that's not what I signed up for. I just signed up to make music and perform. Yeah. Like, that's really, if I could just perform and put out music and make a living off that, I would be happy. Yeah. As far as, like, I don't know, different stuff like the Shade Room or TMZ or people you don't even fucking know, who would probably never say this to your face, being able to comment and be like, oh, you can't sing, or your music is trash, or you need to blow. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's funny, because I think that too. I think that, like, all the time. Like, nobody who signs up to make music signs up to be scrutinized. That now, it's true that happens, and that you should know that, but it's not part of the job description. It's just something that unfortunately comes with it, because people feel entitled to just say and do what they want, for real. Yeah. Like, do you deal with that on your YouTube channel ever? Like,
luckily I'm not big enough to where I've had that many issues, but there's been a few comments and I'm like, whoa. And it, like, made my heart drop, because I'm like, what the fuck did I do to you?
Dang.
What was it? On my Give You All of Me video, somebody commented, like, you low-class bitch, don't quit your day job. Whoa. I was like, wow. Like, what the fuck did I do to you? And at first, I was like, whoa. But then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to comment anything back. Well, I'm not going to comment anything bad. I just I said, thanks for the view. And I put a heart. Because really, at the end of the day, you can say something negative about it, but you still gave me a view. Like, you still watch my music video, so that makes me feel good. But I don't know, at first, whenever I would get, like, comments like that, it used to bother me. I would, like, delete it or block the person. But for what? Obviously, they're taking time out of their day to pay attention to you, and you don't even know them, so I don't know.
I do find that part of it interesting, because the only thing that you literally almost never... One of the things that you really can never get back is time. Mm-hmm. And people still actually really use it like that.
Yeah.
I find that kind of fascinating personally, too.
That's true, but also, I really don't understand why people... Like, somebody would say, I hate this person, I hate this celebrity, I hate their music. Why are you wasting your energy and time going on one of their videos on YouTube and commenting?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people give more energy and time and focus to things that they claim they hate and they don't like. Mm-hmm. I just don't get it. Like, no disrespect to the Cash Me Outside girl, but I haven't went on YouTube and watched any of her music videos. You want to know why? Because I don't support, what she's doing. No disrespect to her. I'm just being honest. I'm not a fan of her. I don't support her.
Sure.
So why would I waste my energy going and watching one of her music videos?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I've never been into that either. One thing I will say about myself, I've been noticing though, is it is easier naturally, and I don't know if this is for everybody or if this is just me, but I noticed myself feeling it easier to stand against something than for something, and I don't like that about myself. Like, I've been wanting to think about that and work on that about myself more and be like, no, when I talk about things, I want to be talking about what I do stand for and what I think matters and is important, not the things that I'm against, because whatever you talk about is what you're giving the attention, just like you're saying. And
that's something I've been learning too.
And it's hard.
It's so hard.
Because I want it to be known when things upset me, or when I see injustice, or when I see, evil or when I see hurt, whatever, I want to speak on it. And it should be spoken on. It shouldn't be muted. It shouldn't be silenced. Those conversations need to happen. But
I think you didn't see I was kind of tweeting about this the other day.
Were you really?
I don't like, okay.
I totally missed this somehow.
I don't know, for some reason, and I'm a very open person, I'm very open-minded. But there are certain things I just don't agree with, and I have certain boundaries. And I feel like sometimes when you say, I'm against this, I'm not for this, I don't really like this, people will attack you and be like, well, why do you care? Okay, say, for example, if I'm all about, being natural and, I don't believe in getting plastic surgery for myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. And then people will be like, well, why do you care what this person does with their body? Why do you care if she gets plastic surgery? It's like, I care because I'm a woman. It's not like I care because I'm trying to be a hater.
Mm-hmm.
I care because I genuinely think it's sad. I'm not trying to look down on them, but I can genuinely be sad that this woman feels like she has to do all this stuff to her body in order to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that, but people always want you to be politically correct. They want you to say, oh, do whatever makes you happy. It's your life, do whatever makes you happy. Yeah, you can do whatever makes you quote unquote happy.
Yeah.
But does that really make you happy?
Yeah. Well, and then you have to get to the difference between happy and peace and happy and joy. Those are different things, and one's a feeling, one's a stability and an experience. But I think that what you're kind of talking about a little bit is the difference between acceptance and tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And
true.
I think that you and I both tend to be people who accept everybody but don't necessarily tolerate everything personally. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't love the person, but if we think that there is an issue with something, we feel like it's unloving not to speak on it, right? Because if we think something is damaging for whatever reason, and throughout our lives we're going to be wrong about that at times and have to go back on that, and that's going to be human. But it's like if I see somebody and I believe something they are doing is a destructive habit, I will speak on it. I will fail at how I do that at times, and I will also sometimes be wrong on how I read a situation, and I need to have the humility to be able to admit that. But it's hard because right now it really is kind of like people feel like you have to do both or nothing. Like you're either a bigoted, hateful person who doesn't love anybody, or you just deal with and tolerate and accept everything. And I do accept everybody, and I really believe that about you too, and I see that in your character, but I do think it's something that can be hard to navigate with how people receive stuff.
Also, just because you love somebody or you support them or you accept them, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy with all the choices they make.
Exactly.
For example, my papa Sunni, he's a very devout Muslim, super old school. I think he's 76, 77. Ooh, I hope he's 76 or 77, because if he's younger, I'm gonna feel bad for making him older. But he hates the fact that we all have tattoos. He hates it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Kyla, how many tattoos you have? You gonna keep getting tattoos? Oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep getting tattoos because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Of course he does, because his religious beliefs. And that's okay. I respect that. I'm not going to be like, I hate my Papa Sunni because he doesn't support the fact that I have tattoos. He's a horrible person. No, he's entitled to feel how he wants. That doesn't mean he doesn't love me. That doesn't mean he looks at me any differently.
Yeah.
And I feel like people just don't know how to separate the two.
I honestly feel like a whole lot of the problems that we have can be cut short if we get people to be okay with accountability again. This whole concept of, now there isn't, before I say this, there is such a thing as privacy and trusting wisely and all those things, but at the same time, we need to be accountable to people. We're only human, and we mess up, and we need people who have our backs and who are, quote unquote, in our business to a degree. And this whole idea of, stay out of my business. You can't tell me anything about myself. Now, not just anybody should be able to. Some stranger on Twitter doesn't get to tell me about myself.
Of course.
But we should have accountability. Like, people should have mentors that they're accountable, peer and elder, and people should be pouring out into younger people.
Yeah.
Like, and that, you know, people will be like, oh, well, that's for community leaders, that's for these people. No, that's for everybody. That's for every member of society, like, if you really want to have a thriving one, at least. It's hard, though, because I don't want anybody in my business either. Like, I get it, but...
I'm not the type of person... I don't really like to, like, solicit my opinion of people. But if something is on my heart and I really feel like this person is being self-destructive, I feel like if I'm close to you, I do have the right to say something. Now, of course, it's also my job to make sure that I say it in a loving way. It's not, like, judgmental. But at the same time, like, people have to be willing to receive certain things and not always be so defensive. So, that's just how I feel. I feel like we having a whole, like...
It's a good conversation.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know if we have to, like, okay, so, NyQuinn, let's talk about your music. And, I mean, we can talk about...
Thank you for introducing yourself.
Oh, yeah.
No, why don't you go ahead and do that? I mean, I really just want to have a good conversation and talk about you and ourselves, so...
I mean, you know, of course, I love to talk about music, and especially...
You have a lot more to offer, though, than just talking about that. So let's talk about all the stuff we could talk about.
I don't know, it's like, NyQuinn, so how's your music? I'm like, we can talk about that. I don't know.
We're going to talk about the important stuff, too. We're going to get to that music stuff, but no, I think that there's some things that you and I can just dialogue about.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be good. But why don't you go ahead and let the people introduce yourself real quick?
Oh, I've said my real name. I've said my stage name. Okay, so my name is NyQuinn, and I am a singer. Some of you may know me as Kyla. That's my first name. NyQuinn is my middle name. Also, you might know me as Low Class Kai, because I'm a little slow. I have to learn things the hard way. So yeah.
Is that where social media? I never knew that.
Yeah, people like, why do you call yourself Low Class Kai? I'm like, nigga, cause I'm stupid sometimes. I do dumb shit.
That's
like
so
people,
funny.
people who are older than me, like my mom or my papa, they be like, don't do this. You're gonna do this and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I have to do it on my own and learn for myself. So I don't know. I feel like
you also have your YouTube channel. You also do vlogging.
I feel like because of my YouTube channel and because of the fact that I've like published books and I'm a quote unquote self-help author, people tend to put me on a pedestal a little bit. And it really makes me uncomfortable. In what way? Because I don't know, people like, you know, people will see certain like statuses I post on Facebook or certain tweets, or even the people who just read my books. People are like, oh, you're so inspirational, you're so wise, you're so this, you're so that. I'm like, thank you, but at the same time, I'm a fucking human. I get nervous about stuff. I get anxious about things. Sometimes I do dumb shit. Like I was, you know, abusing alcohol and weed. Not saying that there's anything wrong with drinking or smoking, but I definitely had a substance abuse problem, and the people around me had no idea. So I don't know. I don't like when people put me on a pedestal, because I want people to understand that I'm human. And even though, yeah, I might be wise at some things, there's some things I'm still very, very ignorant about. There's some things I'm very ignorant about.
I think that's all of us, though. I mean, everybody's learning. Everybody's got things that they've never even heard about before. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of stuff we don't even know exists as a topic even. Like, much less things that we do know about we're not experts on. But
yeah,
do you feel like it ever makes it hard for you to kind of, like, keep wanting to share and stuff, because or do you ever feel like when you do, like maybe when you're struggling, that it's hard to talk about that because you feel like people have this expectation of you to kind of be on this happy place and all that kind of thing?
I keep forgetting that the mic is here, so if I end up crying or something, use whatever you want. I'm just gonna be completely if you want to use me crying, if you think that people want to. Not saying I'm going to cry. I just know how I am sometimes when I get like really deep.
If it
into,
makes you feel any better, there's a decent chance I might too. I've been emotional, so I mean, if it makes you feel any better.
What were we talking about?
I was just asking you about the pressure, when, like how it's hard to admit when you're struggling or having a hard time because of feeling like people have you on a pedestal.
It's definitely hard. Like even when I had like the substance abuse problem, having to actually go on camera and say like I'm struggling with like substance abuse, like I have been like privately, quietly, secretly abusing weed and alcohol. It was really, at first it was really, really, really embarrassing. Like, of course, at first it seemed like a really good idea. I was like, ooh, this is inspiration for my next YouTube video. I'm going to talk about my substance abuse problem. So, of course, at first it was like, yay, I have new, like, content I can make. But once I actually sat down and started making the video and I actually said the words, I'm an alcoholic, like, it was like embarrassing. Like, it was like, and like, I know I texted you and Mir and Raja and I was like, guys, like I have a substance abuse problem, so I'm going to be sober for 3 months. And you guys were like, we don't think you have a substance abuse problem. You seem fine. You're doing all this amazing stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you guys don't know. Like, I'm drinking at 7 a.m. before I go to work. Like, and the reason why I was constantly drinking and smoking all the time is because anxiety. Yeah. Like, really, like, ever since I was a little kid, I've just always been a very, like timid, very nervous, very anxious person. And I don't know if it stems from the fact that I was molested when I was 3 by my dad. I don't know if it stems from, and I love my mom to death. We have a, like, great relationship now. But my mom, she wasn't the best mom, you know? She wasn't the best mom. And I understand because she was a single mom of 3 kids. 3 kids. She did it by herself. And on top of the fact that she was a single mom of 3 kids, she was really, really young. She was really young. And I don't know.
Appreciate you sharing that. It's hard to balance the idea between understanding somebody's circumstances, but then also knowing that the way that it affected you is also just as valid. Like that's a hard position. Yeah, I think a combination of the fact that, like, I was molested when I was 3 years old, not even just by a stranger, by my actual father. Yeah, I can't even fathom. On top of that, like, when I was 8 years old, I had a dream that my Nana was gonna die. And I told my mom, like, Nana's gonna die, I had a dream. My mom's like, she's fine, she's okay, you're just paranoid. A week later, she died. Wow. Yeah, she died. And I was over, I'm trying to keep it together. I'm not gonna cry. Anytime people will be like, I'm not gonna cry, then they start crying. So fucking cheesy and corny, but take your time. I was over my godmom's house, and she lived like 2 or 3 doors down from my aunt, which where my Nana was staying. And my cousins, they came down, and my god sister, she's like, Kyla, your cousins are here. And I'm like, what do these niggas want? Like, can they just leave me alone for a day? Like, what do they want? Because, you know, obviously when you have siblings or cousins, it's always like sibling rivalry, or, you know, you guys are always just doing stuff to mess with each other. So I didn't think it was anything serious. So I go to the door and I just saw the look on both of their faces, and I'm like, what's wrong? And my oldest cousin, Isaiah, he was like, Nana's dead. And I was like, man, stop playing. He was like, you think I will fucking play about this? Mind you, we're kids. Yeah. I was 8 years old. I think he was 10. So the fact that he cussed, I knew he was being serious. And like that very moment that he said she was dead, I just like dropped down to the floor and I was crying. Like, and I was like, where is she?
He was like, she's dead on the laundry room floor. So I walked down to the house, and there she was, dead on the laundry room floor. And I never saw a dead body before. But it's weird. I wasn't scared. I wasn't like, oh, this is a dead body, I'm scared. Like, immediately, like, when I saw her laying on the floor, I laid on top of her. I was just laying on top of her, and I was crying. I said, Nana, please come back. Please come back. And,
Can't even imagine.
And for a while, I felt really guilty. Like, I felt like her death was my fault because of the fact that I had dreamed she was going to die. And it's something that really, like, tortured me for a while. And, you know, of course, all the adults were like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It was her time to go. It was her time to go. But I still felt guilty because I'm like, well, God, why did you give me this dream if I wasn't supposed to, like, save her? So, I don't know, having, like, really traumatic things like that happen. And then on top of the fact that, like, not only did my father, and I don't even really like to, like, talk about this because I don't really want to put him on blast or anything, but on top of the fact that he did what he did, he wasn't even in my life. Like, I didn't have a father. Not that I wanted him to be around, but, you know, I wanted somebody to be around. And not having a father, but also not really having a mother because of the fact that she was a single mom of 3 kids. She had to work a lot, and she was in school. She wasn't really home. And when she was home, she was, you know, really, I don't know, it's like she was in her own little world. Like, she would go in her room, and she would either be on the phone with one of her guys, or when social media became a thing, like, she was always on MySpace, like, and when I was a kid, I used to really resent her because I'm like, why can't you pay attention to us? Or not even, I know it's going to sound selfish, but I don't even care if you don't pay attention to my brothers. Why can't you pay attention to me?
Right. Well, it's natural for a child, I feel
like. Yeah, and when I was a kid, I didn't understand, but now I understand because she needed an escape. Like, can you imagine raising 3 kids on your own? None of their fathers are really, you know, taking care of them or in their life. And on top of that, you're not even married. Like, you don't even have at least, like, a stepdad to help, you know, take care of these kids.
Yeah, it's hard for somebody to deal with, for sure.
And my mom had me when she was 15. She had me when she was 15. She had my other brother when she was 20. And then she had my youngest brother when she was 25. So can you imagine being 25 with 3 kids? Like, that's insane. So
yeah, so that'd be like last year having 3 kids for me. That was crazy. I can't even.
Next year, that would be me. I turn 25 next year. I will have 3 kids. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine having one right now. And I have a boyfriend who I think would be a great father, but it's just like, whoa. Like, I have another person I have to take care of no matter what. And
raise, like, up to be a good human. That's so much, like.
So I really resented my mom, and I don't know. It's like she didn't, like, beat me or anything, but she would say things to me that you shouldn't say to your kids. And the way that she would talk to me sometimes, it, like, I don't know, sometimes the way she would talk to me, it made me feel like I was less of a person. And I think a lot of parents do this, like, don't talk back to me, you little black ass. Like, just little comments like that, like, stay in a child's place. It's like, okay, but you did something that hurt my feelings, so I should be able to express to you that, Mom, you hurt my feelings. But anytime I would, like, call myself, like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, you hurt my feelings, blah blah blah, she would just be like, shut up, you stay in a child's place. Like, she would always just so then it got to a point where it's like, well, damn, like, I felt trapped, because it's like, my mom can just treat me however the fuck she wants. Any adult can just treat me however the fuck they want, and I just have to accept it and deal with it because I'm a kid. and I can't say anything. So I think that's where like the anxiousness and me being scared to like speak to people and express myself.
Makes a lot
And
of sense,
even at the age of 24, I'm a grown woman. It still affects me to this day. You can hear it in my voice sometimes when I talk. And it's something for a while I've always been embarrassed about, but until I can somehow get over it, this is just who I am right now.
No, I think that you bring up a couple of incredibly valid points. Like, seriously, like, one, when it comes to parenting, and I do think that what you're describing happens a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
Probably majority of the time. And for one, adults, like, the parent has to teach the kid everything. How does a child learn what an apology is? How doesn't a kid even learn what it means to apologize and then what it means to forgive if the parent doesn't teach it?
Yeah.
The parent should be the one responsible for teaching them what it looks like to apologize and to receive an apology, how to forgive. Like, all of those things, like, if we don't get that from when we're being raised, then where else are we going to learn it from? And then on top of that, you mentioned the second part of it, which is we think then we either go to the extreme where we think it's okay to hurt other people, too, or we also think it's okay for other people to hurt us because we weren't raised to understand that we have that value and importance and that independent self-worth. That it's a really important thing, like, and I think that you hit the nail. So what is it like then? Like, what's kind of your processing for kind of like learning new mechanisms, I guess, like, because you know that isn't the way you wanted to do things, so now you gotta switch over to new ways for yourself, I guess.
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm sitting here and I'm literally feeling like I'm 10 years old again. This is crazy. Damn, I feel like this is a fucking therapy session. It's supposed to be a damn interview. Wow. Can I just take a second to like really...
You can do whatever you need to do.
It's so crazy. I'm literally like remembering myself walking into my mom's room, like preparing myself like mentally, being like, okay, Kyla, you're gonna tell your mom she hurt your feelings and you're gonna express how you feel in a very respectful way and she's gonna apologize and everything is gonna be better. Every single time I would have like that talk with myself, and I would go downstairs to her room and I would try and talk to her. She would just completely shut me down. And I think like it's like it upsets me sometimes. Like, I'm not upset with her anymore. Like I said, she's like great now.
Yeah.
But it upsets me sometimes because like I feel like I have so much to say. Like, I feel like God has so much that he wants to use me for.
Yeah.
But it terrifies me to like express myself to people and speak to people sometimes because I feel like I'm that like 9-10-year-old girl again.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what I have to say doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And like, I wish I could shake it. I wish I could fight it. It's like, that's why I'm constantly overanalyzing how I sound when I talk and like what type of words I use and if I sound intelligent enough. And it's like, I don't want to be like that. And it's like, as much as it would be easy for me to just like crawl into a hole and just, you know, like isolate myself from everybody and like never like do interviews, never talk to people, never make music, never like put myself out there, as easy as it would be, like, and as much as I feel like doing that sometimes, I feel like I can't.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't because I know that God is using me for something, and it really frustrates me sometimes because I'm like, God, can't you just pick somebody else?
Yeah.
Like, this is too hard for me. It's like really hard for me.
Yeah.
And that's really how I like fell in love, quote unquote, with music. I'm like, well, if I can't speak to my mom, if I can't express myself, I'm just gonna lock myself in my room and write songs. I would literally whenever my brothers weren't getting on my fucking nerves, I would literally just lock myself in my room and I would just write. I would just write songs. I was constantly writing songs, constantly writing poems, writing journal entries, writing stories. That's what kept me from like really going crazy, is writing and music. I would just be in my room like, I'm gonna be a superstar one day. I had all these different like, I would have all these different like celebrity names for myself. I'm like, my name is Mocha, and you think you know, but you have no idea. This is the diary of Mocha. You remember MTV?
Yes.
They had diary. They had behind the music.
So
I would act out all my behind the music. So I'm like, this is behind the music of Sasha. Like I had so many fucking different names for myself. That's what kept me sane. That's what kept me sane. That's what kept me from. Yeah. That's what I mean. My freshman year, I did start having sex, so I'm not gonna say it completely kept me from, engaging in certain things, but
some of the other things that you could have gotten into instead that kept you from.
I didn't smoke weed until I was 19.
Yeah.
Not saying that smoking weed is bad, but some kids get into smoking weed when they're like 12 or 13.
Yeah, really young. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like, and my relationship with my parents is amazing. I couldn't be more blessed. But growing up, I had very similar experiences, and my response was very similar. And I went to the music too. Well, I went to poetry, and then later it became music. But I relate to what you're saying, and I relate to just the idea of when we respond to somebody's hurt defensively, for whatever reason, that is the effect that we have in their lives, unfortunately, and it's the effect that causes that kind of pain, and it then can manifest in those things, and it's really hard. And I think that the thing is, like, you're right. I truly agree with you that God does have a purpose for you and your voice, and your project speaks to that, your character speaks to that, all of that speaks to it. And I think that I also believe that we are inherently have immense value because of being created in his image. That's how I look at it. Being created in his image, we have immense, immeasurable worth, and you have that same worth. But both of us, because of some things we've been through, have to kind of learn how to shed those old lies that we believe about ourselves and about the world, and kind of embrace the new thinking that we do have worth and we can move forward and from a place of security. Yeah. But that's hard, and that does take time. And I am also grateful that I have the music for it, and I'm glad that you had the music for it too, because your music, and I know that you've talked before about how you don't necessarily think through the writing as much, you just let it come out, but your music speaks to the wisdom those experience brings. Even if it's not like, I thought exactly, this is what I'm going to say, like, just what you've been through and what you've learned from it naturally flows out into your music.
I definitely feel like whenever I write songs, it's definitely from my subconscious. I never really consciously, I'm not going to say never, probably 85% of the time, when I write music, I just hear a beat and it just moves me, and I just
let it go.
Yeah. It just comes from either whatever I'm feeling at the time, or something I was feeling and I need to get it out, like as a therapeutic type thing.
It's really interesting. You had mentioned that to me before, that you kind of go off of a feeling. What I found really interesting about this, because you and I have so many ways that we're similar, even though we're such different people, and I just like that. I think it's really cool. I do the same thing, but I just pick the emotion before I hear the beat. So you kind of like, you let the beat tell you what the feeling is. The only difference is that I find a beat that matches the emotion I know I need to talk about, or I make one that matches what I need to talk about. So I just think
it's crazy you say that. That's actually what I'm doing with my next project.
And I can't, like, I'm so geeked that you guys are working on like
I have so many songs written, and I'm just like, all right, Greg, I'm gonna sing this song for you, and I want you to make the beat around the song. Yeah,
I'm really excited to hear that, because I think it'll just lend a whole new level of freedom to your music.
I was just gonna say that it'll allow me more freedom to be able to just do whatever I want. This we haven't even really talked about my first project, but the next project is like really, really, really personal. And I know it's such a cliche.
Does it have like a theme? Is it conceptual or?
I think I want it to be Little Misunderstood Part 2, but I want it to be very like deep.
Okay.
And instead of being an EP, I want it to be a full project. But the next, and I know a lot of artists would be like, this is very personal, which, I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's not true, but I know it's such a like corny cliche thing to say, but like the next project, like I've already written most of the songs pretty much. One song in particular, and I don't want to give too much away, but one song in particular,
Give it all away.
what I will say about one song in particular, the very first line is going to really catch people off guard. Like what I say about myself, people are like, whoa, did she really just say that out loud?
I love when you do that.
And just going back to like, oh, my throat is so dry, I don't know why. I just had 2 fucking
Do you need some
cups
water?
of tea. Yeah. If you could, if you
want
don't
tea or
mind, give
water?
me some water. I think the tea might actually be drying my voice out even more. Let me make sure I remember my thought was. Oh, I was gonna tell you about this song. Okay.
Yeah.